Broadcasting direct from Studio 12. You're watching Live with Bruce Gregori and at Jazz.
Hey, what's up, Facebook? Good to see you today on this Thursday. Started off crazy rain, from what I understand, and looking better outside. But glad to be here with you on this April 9th, as it were. It is April 9th, right? I forget the time. But yes, Thursday, April 9th, and I hope everything is good, and I hope things are improving in your world, and we're trying to make that happen all over the planet. Excuse me, these days. And you are live with Bruce Gregori and at Jazz, and you've tuned into the right place. Of course, I got to give a big shout out to my friends at Ecamm, of course, and they're always keeping us powered up and really great. Good to see you, Johnny. Thanks for tuning in, brother. And Leslie, good to see you. Glad to see folks that are popping in from time to time. We're trying to keep things real here until we get back out on the real world and start to play some music out in the live scene again. From what I'm being told, at least in New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Jersey, it's going to be a little bit. We're looking at least right now towards the end of May before we would get anywhere. And but that's what it is, and we got to do what we got to do to keep people safe, of course, and that's the most important thing. And hopefully things will work out. I'm a big believer that the universe kind of gives us just enough until doesn't usually break people to the point where they can't recover. But that's my philosophy. Sorry to get philosophical with you, man. And yep. Yep, that's what I'm saying. That's what I heard, Gianni, too, is going to peak in May. And I got the word from a lot of the folks that I work for in terms of gigs and live gigs that it's, right now it's, May 20th is a day that they're throwing out there. But until we know that for sure, that could dip back or that could move forward, who knows. I kind of have taken the mindset, and I'm telling most of the guys that work with me when I play live and stuff, it's going to be maybe the fall, if not beyond, and I really feel that it's probably not going to be the same as it was before, but that's just my gut. I think the world is changing, and that's the way it is. But hey, man, we got this going on, and and that's yep. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. It's hard when you're an independent, a freelancer like us in the world of music, Gianni. And I've done this my whole life, and it's kind of like someone asked me not that long ago, and it might have been at the Half Door gig, how did you get into this, and what's it been like and all that stuff. And my response to them was, when I was younger, probably younger than, like, say you are, maybe like high school age, I knew I wanted to do this. And it kind of was like I was too stupid to realize that there might be a problem with it. That's how I categorize it. It's like I never thought about failure. I just didn't have any fear. I was the kid on the skateboard that would go right straight down the hill. And for the most part, it kind of worked out. And that's what it was. And I think if, there's a lot of musicians who are struggling, a lot of artists, independent folks, restaurant people and all that. And I know I'm talking a lot today, but, I think if you love what you do, you find a way to kind of make it happen because you really don't have the DNA to do anything else. And someone like me, or you or other musicians, that play, it's not really a choice. It's no, it chooses you, and it's either you survive as a complete being, and that's what you do, or you're not so happy and you kind of clunk through life, and it's like that. So but man, we're gonna get through, brother. We're gonna get through. Hey Jeff, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Yeah, man. Neil Sean. Yeah, man. Come on, man. You've been busting my balls for it. Don't stop believing. I can't do that stuff, man. Back in the day, when I was yeah, man. Right. Back in the day when I was I was going to school and stuff, going to music school, I was in a cover band, and they were covering all that stuff like Journey, stuff like that, and I had to play it and learn it. And I remember there was a famous pianist, some folks might like that dude, Jackie Byard, and I was humming one of the Journey tunes, and I played in his big band, and Jackie was a different kind of cat. And, he was just like, oh, man, what are you humming? Shut the F up. Basically is what he told me, So, but, yeah, it's all good, Jeff. I appreciate it. Johnny, yeah, you're right, man. I think it's, I think, you got to just you kind of got to move forward, brother, So we're going to play some tunes. I'm going to play a tune by Don Raye. You might know this one. It's a fun one, and I think you'll find and you'll agree with me that it's appropriate, and particularly some foreshadowing along with it. So. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll Remember April is the tune, and I think though, man, that is the word for today. I'll remember April. I think we all will remember this time period in history, but great tune by Don Raye, 1942, and just a great burning tune to play on. I remember there was a French pianist, when I used to play at Cleopatra's Needle, on some nights, and he would come and play and sit in, and he called that tune, and it's my eyes lit up. So every time I played at Cleo's, which is closed down, Cleopatra's Needle was on 93rd, 92nd, and Broadway in New York City, and I was very, very fortunate to be able to play there, but more importantly, I was very fortunate to play there right before they closed down, which was in November of this past year, and had just a burning gig. It was one of those gigs where everything at the beginning was seemingly to be perfect, and then we had one hiccup, but it was a magical gig. It was like I said, the universe was telling me, but somebody up there was telling me that, man, this was the time to shine at that venue, and everybody on that gig had a great time. We had Nathaniel was there on tenor saxophone. We had Michael Toppings on bass, and Kohei Shimoto, who is still in New York City, moved to Queens, and he's still living there, moved in the middle of all this stuff here, and but I hope he's doing safe, and I know Michael's in New Jersey, and he's doing safe. And Nat, if you're out there, brother, I know you're still in the city, but maybe you're down south now and looking to get out for a little bit, given everything that's going on. But I'll Remember April was the tune, and we got Reed. What's up, brother? Hey, man, thanks, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Richard Cyril Higgins III. What's up, brother? Long time no see. Leslie, good to see you again. And Jeff, yeah, man, Jeff, I got to get out to your, what you said? Hold on, Sandra, I can't read that. I'm blind, man. Next time you give me a YouTube, watch Sean and Paul. Oh, yeah, I've seen that show. Neil Sean actually, Jeff, if you're still out there listening, Neil Sean actually, did a very, very quick clinic when I was getting my master's degree, and came to the school that I was at, and did a quick thing, because he's kind of one of those rock players that knows a little bit of stuff. He's not just kind of like a incompetent, not really educated player. He didn't go to formal training or do any of that or go to music school or stuff, but he's around a lot of cats like Carlos Santana. He played with Santana, and He was in and out of the Mahavishnu Orchestra with John McLaughlin, so he knows some things, and he's a real great player. I have ultimate respect for that guy. There's nobody that can make the instrument sing like that. He has that ability. He has such a big voice on the instrument. But I back in the day, I probably was listening to a little bit of Neil Schon. I like the old Journey stuff. Before Steve Perry was getting there, it's a little more raw for me. So, but like that. So, but yeah. So I think I'm gonna play another tune, man. Jeffrey Sullivan, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play another tune. I'm working on a series. If you haven't seen it, I will bring up my web stuff. I don't even know if it's up today, but I am working on a series, and the series is a bunch of different videos, and it's a video on demand kind of service. And the very cool thing about it is that the thing I like about it primarily is that it really is kind of interactive for the student. So I'll give my plug for that now. Shameless. But yeah, Bruce Gregori Video on Demand. It's brucegregori.vhx.tv. And there's a number of programs out there. There's a new one coming out, and the reason I'm actually showing you this is because I thought I'd play this tune. I'm just working on a new one for Unit 7, the tune by Sam Jones. There's a number of programs out there. The cool thing about this site, too, if you are a musician or a player or stuff, it actually links to my homepage, to my webpage. And what that does is it takes you out to another site. And there's a lot of other options once you go out to that site. Hopefully it'll load. There you go. Yeah, man. And on that site, there's just some different content. It basically there's some different pricing plans and things like that, and takes you through the whole 9 yards. There's some PDF files. There's MP3 files. There's different things that you can get your arms around. If you're all interested in that, don't forget I do have a Patreon page. My Patreon page is where I do take donations so I can keep making these videos and trying to get through, one day at a time. So like that. So I think, Ah! Yeah. The tune, of course, is Unit 7 by Sam Jones, written in 1962. He actually wrote the tune, believe it or not, for Cannonball Adderley. And Nancy Wilson. It was kind of a tune he originally wrote for both of them, and it ended up being kind of underground called Cannon's Theme. That was the name that I always knew it under. Cannon's Theme growing up and coming up as a player. And and then it was Unit 7. People would say, hey, I'll play Unit 7, and I had no idea what they're talking about. And they say, Cannon's Theme. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, now I know. And that was like that. But fun tune. And as I said, if you check out that video series I was talking about yesterday, there's going to be a video picking apart some of the cool things on that tune that you can do, because it is a blues with a twist. And that's what we dig. So Cynthia's out there, good to see you. I hope you're doing okay. And how we doing on time? Not bad. I am gonna play one more blues, and it's a request someone gave me yesterday that I didn't get to, and it's a tune I play all the time, but I just didn't have time last night. But I will play today, and you will know this tune. Probably overplayed a lot, but I dig it. Yeah. The tune All Blues, written in about 1957, believe it or not, and released around 1958, thereabouts, depending on how you look at it and what the original release date was. Kinda Blue came from the album Kinda Blues, Miles Davis, of course, and his take on modal blues, interesting kind of thing. And, one of the things I was mentioning the other day about that time period is when you listen to John Coltrane on that particular recording, he was, some folks maybe know this or don't know this, he was actually recording Giant Steps at the same time, the LP Giant Steps at the same time. So, when you think about some of the harmonies and the harmonic content going on between Kinda Blue and then, the whole other end of the spectrum in some ways, Giant Steps, that record, and some of the harmony there, just incredibly amazing to think, and I always say to people, and there was another tenor player that plays with me occasionally, and we had that big long discussion on a break at a gig one time about, Kinda Blue and that album and John Coltrane's playing, and both of us kind of looked at each other and said it sounded like he was trying to work stuff out. Well, by the time he got the Giant Steps, he must have worked it out, but like that. So, look, I do appreciate you all tuning in to Live with Bruce Gregori. It truly is a blessing to be able to play music for you folks. And we are out of time for today. However, I will be back tomorrow. That's Friday, April 10th. And it's weird, I know dates by where I was supposed to play. So I'm thinking about where I was actually supposed to play on April 10th live. And at Back East Brewery up in Connecticut, and but not this April 10th. But I'll be here for you folks, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, blowing out the tunes as much as I can, and trying not to talk too much, and try to stay real. But I got to give a quick shout out to my people, Razor's Edge Cabinets. They're always keeping things real for me, and doing all the right things for me. GHS Strings, giving a quick shout out to those folks for really keeping everything happening for me on the string front. And of course, Benedetto Guitars, in my opinion, some of the best guitars on the planet, if not the best guitar on the planet. I dig it so much, Speak Friends Cables, Jeffrey Ding, cloth covered wire to nitric ends. They're awesome all around. And of course, Peter Hendrickson Amps, and I am actually running through a Hendrickson brand new head that they developed. Pete sent me one out, and I really appreciate it, and I have to touch base with him about that, of course. And again, I hope you all doing great, and I am going to close out. See you tomorrow on the Friday show, Live with Bruce Gregori. Peace.
Bruce Gregori, video on demand. www.brucegregori.vhx.tv